Well, the future is bright. Lights out! Lights out! We are excited about this signing class, and we are excited about the legacy himself, Kewan Jenkins, from Central, and all the young men that we signed. And so we signed 20 young men today, 15 high schoolers. And of the 20 people we signed, 15 of them from the state of Florida. 8 of them are from Dade and Broward counties. We said we were going to do that when we got here. 4 transfers. We have 1 transfer portal, then 1 JUCO transfer. And then, of course, we signed the best name in college football history in Rowdy Beers. So we are excited about this group, and we're excited about what they bring. I can't thank our coaching staff. Our support staff was amazing during this recruiting process. At this point, this is just our first one, though. We've got transfer portal stuff in January more, and then we got another signing date in February, but this is the bulk of what we'll do for our signing period. And then I haven't ever been anywhere where the athletic director came to every single weekend and spent hours, brought his family, and that was a critical factor in this, and just showing the commitment. Everybody on campus, it's been a lot of hard work, and our guys are ready to take about a week and a half break here before they get back going in the 1st of January. So I'll talk about our guys first and go through. First, I'll start with quarterback Kewan Jenkins. As y'all well know, leading passer in Dade history, 3-time state champion, great leader, great athlete, extremely accurate passer. And our coaches did a phenomenal. Corey Bell, Coach Yost, recruiting him. We're so excited about Kewan. And the good thing about Kewan is he's here in January, which is great. Especially, it's great for anybody that can come in early, but especially for a quarterback. That's a big deal. Jaheim Buchanan, offensive lineman from Lehigh High School, a young man that could play guard and center. Very athletic, very fluid, and Jay MacIntyre and Coach Austin did the heavy lifting and recruiting on that. Really excited about Jaheim and his flexibility being able to play guard and center. Travis Burke, 6'8.5". This says 280. He's about 290 now. Young man from South Broward who went to Gardner-Webb that was in the transfer portal. Extremely excited about getting a big offensive tackle. Left tackle, could play left tackle, right tackle, big, physical, athletic. He's a young man that out of high school went there, gained some weight, got bigger, stronger, and he really is all 6'8.5". We measured him again the other day. We thought he was going to be like 6'7" something, and really excited about having Travis. His dad's a local high school coach at South Broward High School, so we're really excited about having Travis here. He's here in January also. Daniel Michelle, big athletic young man, 6'4.5", 295, out of Dillard High School. In his younger days was a great basketball player, and kind of stopped growing at 6'4", 6'5", was smart enough to turn over to football, and really excited about his future and athletic ability, being able to play in the offensive line. Luby Maurice Jr., excellent player. Dillard High School, that was Coach Hickson and Coach Austin. Of course, Coach Hickson will tell you there's a statue at Dillard High School of him, but I couldn't find it anywhere when I went on campus. They said it was being cleaned that day. Luby Maurice Jr., wide receiver out of Palm Beach Central. That was a highly tested recruiting battle, Jay MacIntyre was recruiting him there and did a great job. Luby is all of 190 already. I mean, he's put together. He walked in, you say he looks like a college kid already. Very excited about his ability. A big athletic wide receiver. The next young man is Kyle McNeil from Dwyer High School. He was a big-time AAU basketball player. He has basketball. He could go play basketball different places, but he played receiver, started playing football really basically full-time like 2 years ago. Athletic, played both ways there, played receiver, played safety. The thing that you notice about him, like when watching him play basketball the other day, Coach Yost and Coach MacIntyre went and watched him play basketball, and he got like his elbow above the rim. I mean, he's just freakish athlete. Great going up and high point in a football. One of those guys, like a 50-50 guy, he's going to come down with it. Really excited about Kyle McNeil. And then Rowdy Beers from Valor Christian High School. Valor Christian High School is a powerhouse in football in Colorado. Recruited there when I was at Colorado. This young man, you don't find many guys over 6'4" that can run like that. His brother, Rocky Beers, plays at Air Force. His sister plays volleyball at Oregon State. She could have gone anywhere in the country. His brother, and then they have another one coming along too. Just an athletic family, and we really excited about getting Rowdy. Kind of knew about him from being there, heard about him, and we were really excited that we were able to recruit him to come here. And I think it's -10 right now in Denver. But I talked to him this morning. I said, well, it's only 72 here. We're cold. I think I have to put on a sweatshirt. So it was good getting Rowdy, very athletic. He plays both sides of the ball, both ways. They got beat in the state finals this year. Christian Pedersen, tight end, transfer from Louisville. He's from California. Went to the same high school that Tom Brady went to in California. Really good athlete. Really excited about him. Can run, move. He's 240 now. He's 6'3". Feel like he can do everything, and he'll be here also in January. Braden Staten is another big tight end, 6'5", 236 from Green Hill High School in Tennessee. Long, athletic young man. And you can say, well, you signed 3 tight ends. Yes, we did. There's not very often you come across guys 6'4", 6'5", that can run, do all the things they can do, and you better grab them while you can. And we're excited about having those guys. One was a transfer that's older. The other 2 young guys, we're really excited about what they can do. And they play all over the place. And then Antoine Cobb, D lineman from Frostproof. Big, athletic young man. Played both ways in high school. Very physical. We loved him when he came to our camp. And, Frostproof is a place that's an awesome place, but not a lot of guys make a track out there. And Coach DeWitt knows the place well, did a phenomenal job recruiting him, and knows him well. We're really excited about getting a big, athletic defensive lineman. Jack Daly, 6'3", 315. If y'all saw us play Bryant University last year, he was that big, huge defensive tackle #1 that was running through us a little bit. And as soon as he came in the portal, I said, we need to try to go get him. He's a graduate transfer. He'll be here in January. Really excited about Jack. He brings size and physicalness to our front line, which we need. And I'm really excited about Jack. George Frazier did a great job recruiting him. Mikael Rabus from Miami Norland High School. This is a big, athletic young man. He played both offensive line and defensive line. So when he gets here, we're thinking defense, but he could be an offensive lineman. So we're working both ways. And he'll be here in January also. And so will Jack Daly. He's 6'5", 265, 270 right now. Get him in the weight room, get him through spring practice. Another big, athletic guy. So we've signed some really long, athletic young men that we're excited about. Marquez Tatum. George Frazier did a great job with him. He was committed to Western Kentucky for a long time, and George just kept recruiting him and kept recruiting him and kept recruiting him, and Marquez decided to come here. Another big physical young man that'll be here in January, 6'2". He's 290, 286, 290. Will be a really good defensive line for me. We're excited about him. Todrick Bruton, he's a bull, so we got us a bull in here. I know that Gator and all the bulls around here are excited about that. Todrick's a young man that graduates also early. We'll be here in January. He's 6'3", he's 234 as a high school senior. He'll play outside linebacker. And it was funny, we had Sean Peterson hosting him, and they almost look like twins. And so it was, that's not saying he could be another Sean Peterson because Sean's great, but we're expecting him to be a guy that could be able to help us at outside linebacker and do really, really well. We're really excited about Todrick. J.T. Anderson is another young man, a long corner from Tampa. He played for Bryan also, which is interesting, but he went in the transfer portal. We remembered him, went back and watched his PFF, saw that he was from Tampa, knew there would be some interest, and he's another young man that will be here in January. Long, athletic corner that has 3 years to play, which is really good. Victor Evans from Von Singer Pace. Long young man, long athletic young man that plays really well. Really excited about him over there at Monsinger Pace. And we saw him at camp and watched games. And Coach DeWitt and then Coach Josh Ergel and Corey Bell and Coach DeWitt recruiting him. And also Nate Tay. Jamari Holloman from Miami Norland. He'll be here in January. He's a young man that was committed to Colorado for a long time. We kept recruiting him. Had a lot of other interest, and he wanted to stay near home. And he's a long corner that we're excited about, really excited about Jamari Holloman coming here. It was a long recruiting process, and he'll also graduate early and be here in January. Preston Thompson, Moorhaven High School, 5'11", 180. He plays nickel, corner, receiver, you name it. Excellent athlete. I think that was committed to FAU for a long time. And Coach DeWitt just kept recruiting him. And Coach Tay, they did a great job with him. We're really excited about Preston. He called me, I guess it was yesterday, and said he was coming here. So it was really good. Mr. Clark, I love the name. We got another good name there. Miami Carroll Senior City High School. This young man plays receiver, corner, DB. We think he'll be an excellent safety nickelback. 5'11" and a quarter, 170. Really excited about Mr. Clark. He'll be running track for them this spring and then be here in the summer. And then Landon Hale from Yulee High School up above Jacksonville there near Fernandina Beach, all that area. A long, athletic, really quick, really excellent. He's got a chance that he believes he did well last year to win the state in the long jump and the triple jump. Really talented young man that we're excited about having Landon here with us playing in the secondary. So if you have any questions, I'll take them at this time.
Can you talk about your quarterback depth chart, who's back, and where does Keon fit into that?
Right. So, of course, we have Grayson, Hayden, Carlson, and Amari. And Gunner is going to go ahead. He had a hurt shoulder after he got here, and he's gone ahead and retired from football and going into business. I think he already has a job. He's a sharp young man. And then we have Kewan. And so when we get here for spring practice, we're going to throw him right in the mix and start competing just like we do. Everything's open when we start spring practice. Every position's open, and here we go. So he'll get thrown in there to compete, and we'll see how everything works out.
In general, with a quarterback advantage that's going to come in the spring, how hard is that for him? Would it be for him to win the job right away?
Oh, well, we'll see. We'll let him compete. We're able to get a lot of reps in the spring, and then we'll have us being able to do more in the summers than we were in the past. It helps young freshmen and transfers get acclimated better. He'll have a good opportunity to compete to play for sure.
How much did NIL come up in conversations, or that's something fairly new? What role did that play?
Every house I went into, every one of them, and different places have more NIL. We do it. We're not able to do stuff with it, but we have an NLI collective that outside of our program that works, and so. But it comes up in every house that you go into. It's a factor in recruiting now, and but our guys are coming here because they love it. They're getting full scholarships. They want to be part of it, and as they get here, see what they're able to do. And some of our kids that have been here in the last year were able to do stuff, and I'm pretty sure the guys that get here will be able to find ways in this big city to have NIL things.
I'll turn it over to the other guys. What positions, maybe running back? I'm not sure. What did you feel? Maybe
yes, we need to get running back, and we need to get inside backers. So that's our focus in January and through February. We need to get.
Okay, and one follow up to that. And the reason you didn't get them because
we didn't get who we wanted, and we felt like instead of reaching. That with the transfer portal and all the way to February when everything falls down, there's going to be some really good guys sitting there. Because last year, I got here, we signed 3 guys, and we signed everybody else, and we got some really good guys that ended up starting for us that we got in the portal, and also we got out of high school and junior college. So you don't want to reach the famous saying my dad used to always tell me, because he was a recruiting coordinator and a head coach, and he said, Mike, it's not who you don't get, it's who you get. So make sure we don't have to reach with all the fluctuation you have now. You never really should reach, but there's more opportunity now to have more really good players available after in January and February than there used to be.
So that's kind of a segue into what my first question is going to be, is the approach now, you sign now, you kind of take a look at what's going to shake out with your roster, where that next portal window is, and then kind of decide from there.
Right. Our next option is a lot more portal. And then we'll see how our spring shakes out. Different kids that decide to go ahead and graduate, and there's all those type of things that come into play as you are working to your 85.
Coach, you had a couple of recruiting weekends, I think, December 2nd, one December 9th. A lot of South Florida kids.
Yes.
What did that mean personally and for the program? A lot of the questions coming in here was, you're not a South Florida guy. Can you recruit South Florida? What does that mean to have so many South Florida kids kind of commit all at once in that cluster?
Yeah, it's really exciting for us, and I think you could call every high school coach. There might be one that would say something different, but 99% of them will tell you that we're coming by the schools, we're going by there, we're recruiting, we're looking. Now, we can't sign every one of their kids, but we are working at it hard. And there were some other ones we were trying to get, we didn't get. And there were some that we got that we're really excited about. Yes, we're working at it hard. Our coaches are doing a great job with it, and it's extremely important to us to do that.
I was talking with Larry Bruce, who's been on a couple of guys from the South Florida guys who signed it. He said just physically, and talking about Mr. Clark and Holland, they seem like they can come in and, from a physical perspective, compete immediately. Is that what you see?
Yeah, they are really well put together and look like a college DB does now. Of course, the whole process of going to school and getting adapted and all of that, see how they handle all of that. But they are definitely guys that are built well and that look like they could play now.
Coach, when you talk about the Bryant guys a little bit, this kind of takes a little bit of the process of, obviously you played them this year,
right.
So I'm sure that helped, but just a little bit deeper on that process. Spot those guys.
Well, the Bryant, Jack Daly was obvious. And when he went in, and he's a grad school kid, and when we talked to him, he was interested. And he had some other things he was looking at, and then he came down on an official visit, his parents, and they just loved it. He went on another visit, and he said, "I'm not going anymore. I'm coming to y'all," which was awesome. And we needed a bigger body in there, and he fit it perfect. With JT, when he came across and we saw it, we were looking at other portal guys and viewing it. But the way I do portal, just to let you know, is I go down through and you can sort it by state. So I sort by Florida first, and I go by Dade and Broward first, and then South Florida, I work it up. And so we start looking at guys that are from the state of Florida, especially from South Florida, Orlando, Tampa down, really. And he was from Tampa. I said, let's start looking at that. And so there was a connection, because I want him to have a connection to us. I don't want to just try to, let's take a guy from Seattle. Yeah, he's really good. We would take him, but the connection of them coming here and wanting to stay and wanting to be here, I think there's a lot more to that. And so he was from there. We liked him on tape. Then when he came on the official visit, he was all the size and length you're talking about. Family loved it. He loved it. He wanted to be here and excited about that. And he turned down some other places and said, "I'm coming here." So that's kind of how that worked.
Coach, in the past with the transfer portal, there may have been a want to go after some of the bigger names, schools, kids from Alabama and the Power 5. Last year and this year, we've had a lot of kids from the lower levels. Is there a benefit to maybe those kids from the lower levels coming up to FIU, and this is, for lack of a better phrase, this is their Alabama as opposed to Power 5?
Right. So, yes, to be completely transparent with you, we would look at some guys from SEC schools or Big East schools. You've got to make sure they're not looking down their nose when they walk in here. They've got to come and realize they got to work. And I remember one of the guys that came and ended up playing for us and did really well. After about 2 weeks, he came in and said, "Coach, y'all got some good athletes here." They just thought, I just walk in, I'm going to play. So that's number one. We need to look at and we've had some guys. I mean, Adrian Kroll's a prime example. He was from down here. He played at Syracuse. He came down here and he worked every day as hard as you can to compete, and he did really well. We had some other guys that came in that didn't work as hard. They just thought they should play. And then the guys that came from up a level, they were excited about being here, and they had a little chip on their shoulder, and they all did really well. And they were really good players. They got to play enough. So a lot of times, let's just think about the maturation of a man, right? You really start getting a little bit stronger and more when you're really like 19, 20, 21. So a lot of these kids are signed out of high school at 17 and 18. They still might not even have hair on their chest. And all of a sudden, a year and a half late, 18 months later, they're bigger and stronger. So they might have gone 1AA, but all of a sudden they've gotten prepared. And now they've graduated, they're older, they know what they want. They come in here, they're sharp, they're mature, they can handle everything. Donovan Manuel is a great example of that. And so Jacob Peace is another great example of that. Because I remember him talking to one of our freshman linemen, and I said, what were you talking to him about? He goes, well, I was telling him when I was a freshman, I could barely chew gum and walk straight, and I was getting knocked off the ball, and now he's big and physical and strong. So I think you can find the players everywhere. The NFL shows you that too, right? So I think it doesn't really matter the name. It's just who wants to be here, who can fill your need, and who's really an athletic good player, and that's what we're looking for. We basically want to just take the names off of it and evaluate the player, and then when we talk to them, do they want to be here? Are they hungry? Do they have an edge to them? I think that's really important also.
Two-part question, and I'll follow up for Johnny. How many scholarships do you have left? And I was trying to keep count as you were going. I think you
Right.
signed 6.
Yeah. Right. We have, it's always fluctuating, to be honest with you. With the new rule where you don't have to stop at 25, you have to be at 85 in August, it's all fluctuating. So it's really a moving target until August hits. And because like you said, there'll be kids that come back and said they want to go in the portal. I mean, it's always moving today. So you have to be able to handle change, and you have to be fluctuating, and you have to always be recruiting your players on your team and players that outside the team. So it's a moving target.
And I was trying to keep count. I think you said you had like 6 players, I believe, who will be here early for.
Yes, we have. Let me go real quick. Keywan, Travis Burke. Can I go down here? Christian Pedersen, Jack Daly, Mikael Rabus, Marquez Tatum, Todrick Bruton, JT Anderson, Jamari Holloman. Those are the ones right now.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, Coach. I want to ask you about your quarterback Jenkins. How did that come to be? Where committed in August and the flip.
Mm-hmm.
How did that all
We don't have that long, but it was fun. It was really fun. Keywan stayed in contact with us the whole way. Coach Bell did a great job. Coach Yost did a great job. Every time we could be at the school legally, we were there. We did everything we could do, and there. So I mean, I went one day and I was there. I went there that morning. Then I came back, saw the people in the school. Then I came back, and I was at practice till they got off the practice field like 7:30. We were there all day, and then went to the house afterwards. Just stayed on top of it. I can't tell you what a great job that Coach Bell and Coach Yost did with that, and just would basically never take no for an answer, and just kept working at it and did that. So it was a lot of fun, and we're really excited about Keywan. And when y'all get to know him and see his energy and what he's about, you've probably met him before. I mean, I'll let him tell you the story how he got his nickname Lights Out. It's pretty funny. So on that, but it was a long process, all the way till this morning, basically.
And last thing, just talk about you added about it. A year ago, lackluster, but now how does it feel to get the full year of recruiting guys and how is it really signing?
I tell you what, I've said this before, and Scott Carr and I've talked about it some. I'm more rejuvenized now than when I first took the job, because I knew the guys were out there, but then seeing how many good players are out there, and to be honest with you, the portal is a interesting dynamic, but it's also helped us, I believe, true-heartedly, get our hands on some high school kids that we might not been able to, quote, get our hands on before, and they're going to love it here at FIU, and they're going to make this place special, and it's going to be a place that's kind of going to start being a destination spot for a lot of Dade County and Broward County kids.
Coach, can I ask you one? It's not specifically on your team, but coaching the team life in general. Jeff Traylor had a comment earlier this week about some of the challenges of being a team life coach.
Yep.
I'm sure you saw. Coach, just wondering, I'm not asking you to respond to Jeff, but just any thoughts and the challenges of Power 5 kids coming in, all those things that.
Right. Okay. It's a great opportunity for kids and their families if somebody can make money off NIL. I agree with that. The thing that's wrong is when schools go and do it before they're in the portal, okay, and start throwing out money to people, and they don't even know if they're going to get it or not. They're just trying to entice to see if the kid would come. Then they might have two other people they're trying to get the same position. So it's really a fishy deal there. That's what he was talking about. If they want to go in the portal and after that the NIL stuff starts happening, because the way I see it, the portal's a good thing. The NIL is the fuel on top of the portal that they never realized was going on, going to happen. And I think that's where it kind of gets like a little bit crazy for us as coaches and for the kids being recruited, because they don't know what's real or not real. And so that's an interesting dynamic on that. But it's not just happening at G5. It's happening with Power 5 on Power. It's just all over. So I don't know how you control that, but I do know that's out there, because technically the NILs, NCAA can't govern them. They're not part of a university. If that makes sense. So I don't know how that'll work, but it is a thing that happens, and I guess we just got to work through it, and hopefully people will start figuring out how to handle that in a better situation. I think in a few years it'll probably settle down a little bit, to be honest with you. But you have to adapt. There's always change, right? We have to find ways to adapt and figure out. You have to figure out what fits your school best. Every school is going to have to do it differently. Different areas, different places, the way they do it, geographically, all that thing. So I feel like we're really figuring out, we believe, how to do it the way that's best for FIU to be successful.
Last one from me, Coach. Your coaching staff, do they have recruiting territories throughout the state, or do your coaches go by position?
Yes, we have. All 10 of our coaches have schools in Broward and Dade, so we can comb that completely. That's first and foremost. Then they have areas in the state, like somebody might have half of Orlando and another. So we do that all the way up the state, and then out of state is more like we go and hit kind of like certain guys, or we hear about a guy that we have a connection and that type of thing. But the first thing we do is comb Dade and Broward, and they comb it. So like when we go out in January, because we'll be looking for a few spots, we're kind of starting to work for 24. So we can't talk to those kids, but we're going to go by the schools, see them play basketball, see them lift weights, that type of thing, talk to the coaches. And so we'll go through all the schools in Dade and Broward again once, and then we'll go out in May again. And so we'll just keep working that, and then we'll work up to Orlando and Tampa and that area. The old national recruiting, that's important, but I think for us, let's just stay home. And then the kids that leave and we get good relationships with, and they want to bounce back, that's good for us too, if we want to, if we have room at that time.
Coach, banana pudding, is that strictly reserved for Thanksgiving or Christmas?
No, banana pudding. It's funny. All the guys, when all the kids were hosting, they would come by, and Trisha was there. Hey, when are we having the banana pudding again? When the kids get back January 8th, we'll have banana pudding. We'll have banana pudding, I think, for Christmas, and I think we'll have it for we've already had Thanksgiving, right? Christmas and New Year's. So it's good. Yes, it is.
Coach, with Jenkins, and he had committed to Auburn, I'm curious how many, I guess a couple things. How does that feel like to beat out a Power 5 school for recruiting? And also, how many of the other kids, if you can be, you won over a recruiting battle from a Power 5 school? So I think that's impressive.
Well, Keywan's just a phenomenal young man, great charisma, great player. It was back and forth on all that, and there was people contacting him at different times, and he just realized he wanted to stay here in Miami and do something special here at FIU, just like he did it with Central and what he's doing there, because he loves the area and he's excited about that. Yeah, we definitely had a few other kids that had mainly other ACC schools that we went against, that we were able to do well against. And so that's really important for us. And our coaches did a great job of building relationships and staying on top of it and staying connected. That's one reason, if you spread yourself too thin, you can't keep doing that. And so if we can keep ourselves condensed to our area and our brand and what we're looking for and what we're hunting, we'll also be able to understand, the kids better, their character better, what they're all about. We'll know the family better, so that'd be important to us. But we did have quite a few other guys like that.
Any thoughts on beating those Power 5 schools, and if you can, what other specific, which guys are you referring to?
Well, I mean, we had it kind of comes and goes, to be honest. You can look on where they offer things, on the things there, on the offers. But like, for example, I'll just use this young man at the end, Luby Maurice. He played in the playoff game, the very last playoff game, and played great. Well, Pittsburgh was there, so they offered him afterwards. They were trying. He said, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not going. I'm staying with FIU." So things like that kept popping up. And on that, and then you just keep going from there. Anything else? All right. Oh, Merry Christmas, by the way. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you all for your being here and everything you do. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas.